Okay, thank you. We'll call to order the local board for the Alcohol Beverage Commission to order. This is our April meeting. We have 1, 2, 3 renewal items that we'll go through and act on, and then we have 1 new license. So I'd entertain a motion on approval for license RR 1719768, doing business as Mad Anthony Taproom. RR 1732056, and doing business as 7th Street Bar and Grill, and RR 1737401, doing business as the Country Heritage Winery and Vineyard, Inc.
Any violations that we know of?
No violations.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 3 renewals as read.
Okay, we have a motion then. Is there a second?
Second.
If the motion is second, we see no one local to remonstrate, so we'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Hearing nothing, let the record reflect that all present voted in favor of the motion. Whoever's going to speak, if I could ask you to step up to the podium, please. The officer has
You
to.
can speak if you want to. Just stand or whatever you want to do. If you both could, please, raise your right hands.
Yeah,
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. State and spell your names for the record.
Stephen Wyrock, STEBEN, WEIRAUCH.
Christine Wyra, CHRISTINE, WEIRAUCH.
And what are you both with the company?
She's my moral support.
There we go. If you don't think you're gonna speak, you don't have to stand there the whole time. That's up to you. All right, what's the principal nature of this business?
Pizza, we are a restaurant.
And can you explain to the local board members exactly when and where your orange sign notice was posted?
It's posted just to the right of my front door. We have a big bay window right there, and it's right as you walk in the door. And what else?
And when was it posted?
Oh, I believe it was the last Wednesday in March.
You have your affidavit that shows that. I'll take that. Thank you.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's the floor plan. Okay, and go ahead and explain to the board about this new permit, about the business, how it's gonna be run, that kind of stuff.
Essentially, we used to be Pizza Sub and Barbecue in St. Joe up until about, well, on August 13th, we opened Cheesy Does It in Butler. So essentially, we're the same people, same thing. It's just, this is a much larger facility than what we were used to at St. Joe. So now we can accommodate like the high school teams and things like that, bigger groups for the factories and things like that as well. Like I said, essentially, pizza, we do some salads, wings, that sort of thing. We were just thinking that beer and wine would be a nice addition. Everything that we do is pretty sports themed throughout the place. We have multiple TVs, sports are on all the time. Live music on Friday nights. We've been doing it every other Friday night, but I believe we're going to start doing it every Friday night now. So. And we've had many requests from customers to please get beer. So they could sit and listen to the music or sit and watch the game. So
And you don't have you don't have alcohol at your St. Joe location?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so this is your first,
Correct. Yeah, this is the first time I've done anything like this, so.
okay, okay, thank
Super
you.
nervous and not super knowledgeable.
What's the name of the one in St. Joe again?
It used to be Pizza Subs and Barbecue.
Yeah, that's still open.
No,
When did they close?
we closed the weekend before August 13th.
Ah,
We literally closed up shop on a Saturday night and then reopened Wednesday in Butler. So,
is there anything in that building now in St. Joe?
there's, I think, a broke down cooler that doesn't work. We're actually in the process of selling that building with a land contract.
Ah,
And the new owner wants to put in a convenience store, and I think it's going to do very, very well in that location.
yeah, yeah.
So,
The gentleman that is buying it, he owns several of the convenience stores throughout Baltimore.
Yeah, because there's nothing there.
you know, in St. Joe, there's
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
there's not much
Yep.
there.
Thank you.
I'm assuming this is in the first block of South Broadway.
Yes, yeah, we're between Oak Street and State Road 6. And we are on the east side of this, right across from where it used to be an old hardware across the street.
Yeah,
And then Gump's Smoking Barbecue, he was right next door to the hardware. We're literally right across from them.
that's where I thought it was, but I just wanted to be sure.
There's a grass lot between our building and then the next building north of us. And I believe the city owns half of that, and then the person that owns our building owns the other half of that. And then I know he's been talking to the city about possibly just putting gravel down through that whole lot, and then we could put like a patio out there and stuff during the summer, so.
In your application, you have checked that you want or are requesting limited separation. So how is that gonna work or look, or do you know?
I wasn't real sure what we would have to do. Our
Okay.
bathrooms are located, because that's essentially two buildings.
Okay.
And then the walkway between the two buildings is basically a giant doorway like this.
Mhm.
But the bathrooms are to the back of like the bar area. So kids would still have to be able to come through that room, at least to be able to use the bathroom. So I wasn't entirely sure. The only thing that I don't really know, is I have the beer cooler marked on there.
Mhm.
We don't actually have the cooler as of yet.
Oh, that's okay.
Cause we had thought about doing bottles, and just bottles. But we had found a new system, it's called Bottoms Up. And essentially it is a giant cooler that could go underneath the counter and small kegs could go inside of that. And then there's a magnet in the cup. And when you set the cup down, it literally fills it from the bottom up.
Mhm.
So we thought about going with that. So we weren't sure if we could take cabinets out and stick it underneath the bar, or if it would have to be against the back wall to be further away from anybody trying to put their hands on it, essentially.
How long were you in business in St. Joe?
When we opened in Butler, we were
Oh,
one
sorry.
week short of 12 years in St. Joe.
Okay,
So we were there,
still a long time.
yeah.
Okay, no need to throw out any numbers because that's confidential information. But I will tell you, this obviously is a new business, a new town. If you want limited separation, you have to do at least $200,000 a year in food sales.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Because it's a new business, you can project for at least 2 years. But
Okay.
once that 2 years is up, if you're not close, you're gonna have to change things for one.
Okay,
We have what is called full separation, which that is the bar room separated by the family room is at least a 6-foot high wall that you can't see through. So it almost sort of looks like from this that you're probably already like that to begin with. So,
it's concrete or Yeah, it's a brick wall.
What's the biggest problem you have with this floor plan is kids cannot walk through the bar room to get anywhere, to get to the bathrooms, to get anywhere.
Right, and that's what I was afraid of.
So depending on how this bar seating cash register thing, because they wouldn't be able to walk in there for the cash register as well. That's gonna be something where if there's space, we could talk about limited separation.
Okay. Because
No,
I've
come on.
seen it in other bars and stuff as well.
Uh,
I didn't know if maybe a railing that came from here and over
Yes.
or something.
So if you had something like that, it has to be semi-permanent.
Okay.
I don't expect you to bolt it to some concrete,
I say-
but you're not allowed to take it up and down.
Right,
So if you
right.
found like those stanchions or planters in a rope or whatever goes with your decor,
Yeah,
something that goes across those bar stools. So where the only place you have to be 21 is actually to sit belly up to the bar.
okay.
That way they can get to the bathroom. But like I said, that limited separation, that's gonna be the food figure thing that you'll
Okay.
have to track.
And that shouldn't be a problem at all, because we're projected to do a little bit more than double that.
That's okay. All right.
Because, yeah, so far Butler has been very good to us.
Good.
It's compared to St. Clair's.
What do you have for employees? Like, I know you say you're new to the business, but just because you're new to the business, we expect you not to break the law. You're gonna have to, I don't expect you to know everything off the top of your head. You know what I mean? But you gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So tell the board about that. How have you done that? What kind of employees are you going to or already have? What's in place for that stuff?
Right now, we have a full-time driver. He's a little older guy, and then we actually just hired a couple of people. So we have our cook, and then we have a person that we hired for the cash register. They are both well over 21. We're both over 21 as well. And then I do have a couple kids that would be under 21.
Well, they work in the kitchen all night.
Yeah,
So with the kitchen, being essentially where the bar area is, we have it pretty much set up where we've already talked to our, young adults where they are not to, once this machine goes in, that they are not to approach the bar at all, that they can't do that no more. Or if the machine would go against the wall, that they would have to walk on this side of the bar so that they don't actually brush up against the machine itself. So I know it's gonna be a revolving training, situation, like an everyday training situation with everybody. But we have essentially already started the talks about what they can do, what they can't do. But when it comes to serving or, bringing any customers up, it won't be anyone that's under 21.
and the POS system that we have as well, even if someone were to bring in and order anything for themselves for dinner at night or something, we have ways of restricting certain items, even just on the touch screen, so they can't even bring in anything, try to.
So they essentially have their own code to be able to log in the POS system to do anything on it. They'll have like their own code, which sets like their own restrictions of, what permissions and what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do.
What do you think your house rule is going to be regarding carding patrons when they, when they want alcohol?
Honestly, I just went through the training we had literally yesterday, so, I kind of like the idea of anyone that appears under 40
Mhm.
to be started. Then again, if there's any sort of an issue or anything and I need to confront anybody, that's always a good way to get an ID as well.
And we'll have a sign that reflects that at the cash register, that anyone that looks under the age of 40, that we will ID.
Mhm.
And is that what they train? Is that what they suggest that you train? Okay. Everything's done pretty up and looking at it. Question.
But you haven't inspected this yet,
No, not yet.
so you'll do that and they'll come back, or
No, as long as they,
as long as it passes what we authorized today?
yes, absolutely, yep.
Thank you.
I know it would take about 2 months to get the cooler and that piece of equipment into the building. So I would definitely have a little time to set up to see like how many, where I can get a railing and that sort of thing. So,
I think because no offense whatsoever, I think because you are so new to the business, before you start spending money to do the rail or the this or the that, I think it would be best if I would just come over and do a walkthrough. That way we can see everything face to face.
Yeah.
To me, that's easier to answer questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
okay, fine.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Okay. Well, I make a motion that we approve the new license on final inspection.
We have a motion to give approval to license RR 1743557, doing business as Cheesy Does It. Is there a second?
Second.
There's no one here to remonstrate, so we'll go to the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing nothing, let the record reflect that everyone present voted in favor of the motion.
All right, questions?
Not yet.
Good luck, you guys. Good luck.
Now, y'all are out and about right now. Do you have time for me to pack up and then come straight over?
Actually, yeah, we were gonna go pull dough for tomorrow. So,
Is that
yeah,
fine?
we're gonna head straight there and we'll be there for a bit.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in.
I wasn't guessing pizza when I saw that Cheesy Does It. There's a place. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.